Am I the a-hole for telling my neighbors that I don't care for their living situation? I recently relocated to Orlando from Miami. I moved to some apartments that most would consider really nice. Not high-end or anything, but definitely nice. Miami was just too expensive, which is the reason for my move. So because I work from home and I have 2 dogs, I wanted to get a 2-bedroom apartment. One that can be an office that I can work from and one for me to sleep in. After having my office in the same room I slept in my last home while still living with my mom, it felt suffocating as if I never got to escape work. This has been much better for me mentally, and I feel like I'm actually leaving work after I close my laptop. So, I've been here about a month and recently saw a family moving in. I'm very introverted, so I didn't introduce myself or anything. The only time I really ever have contact with anyone is when someone is walking their dog at the same time I am, and our pups want to say hello to each other. Very quick small talk, and then we're on our way. Today, as I was going back inside after walking my dogs, I saw the wife and I just gave a friendly smile. Nothing more. I decided I should throw the trash out before I clock in for the day just to get it out of the way. As I was walking back to my apartment, the wife stopped me to introduce herself. I introduced myself as well. She then asked if I lived with a girlfriend or anything. I told her no, it's just me and the pups. She gave me a strange look that I can only describe as annoyed. She asked if my apartment has 2 bedrooms. I told her yes, that there are 2 bedrooms. She asked me why I wanted 2 bedrooms when I live alone, and I explained to her the office/sleeping thing I mentioned above. Now this is the part where I may be the a-hole. She said it was really inconsiderate and rude to bigger families to take up a 2-bedroom apartment by myself. That her family of 4, husband, wife, 2 kids, have to share a 1-bedroom because people like me decide to steal the 2-bedroom apartments. I said that it sucks that you feel that way, but there's nothing I can do. And that's when she said I should trade apartments with her. I thought she was joking, so I just started laughing. Not a nervous laugh or anything. I just genuinely found her suggestion hilarious. I then said that her living situation doesn't concern me, and if she wanted a 2-bedroom apartment, she should have looked harder. She said she was going to report me to the building management, and I said that she should include reporting me to DeSantis, Florida governor, while she's at it. I went inside and left her there screaming like a crazy person. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. I think laughter was the appropriate reaction. Next time, just ignore her and her family completely. Consider getting a doorbell camera because these people are clearly unhinged. Not the a-hole. Yep, that's the plan. Just never want to interact with them again. The doorbell camera I've had for some time, so definitely keeping that motion sensitivity as high as possible. If your family of 4 is living in a 1-bedroom apartment, it's not because you are living in a place that you can't afford and it suits your needs. It is because either she and her husband cannot afford a place that suits their needs and their desires, or because she and her husband are putting their desires above their actual needs. You're not the a-hole. She is the a-hole for being judgmental and having a highly flawed so-called logic that allows her to spew such a self-centered, inconsiderate nonsense. Not the a-hole. I very much doubt there are no other 2-bed apartments in the place where you live. She should rent one of those. She's being a mooch. I'm not trying to justify her reasoning, but I'm not going to lie. There was a wait list for these apartments. I actually had to wait about 6 months from the time I applied to when I actually got keys. Maybe she was in a sink or swim situation and got whatever she felt was the quickest solution. Did she also offer to pay higher rent for your apartment? Or simply exchange the flats? Not the a-hole, by the way. We never got to that part because of me laughing at her, so I don't really have an answer for that. Thank you for your judgment. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to go to a friend's 21st birthday due to allergies? I, 21 female, was invited to my friend Stacy's, fake name, birthday celebration a few days ago. She has been very excited, as she is the last in our friend group to turn 21, and has been keeping her party planning mostly secret so she can surprise us all. Turns out, she organized for a few of our friends, as well as some other friends from her college cheer team, to have a picnic at our city's botanical gardens. I'm not sure if these are global, but it's basically a large park with lots of different plants. She picked out a spot right next to the rose display as they are her favorite flowers and hold a lot of sentimentality for her. The issue is, I am quite allergic to flowers. Think hay fever, but worse. I'm not anaphylactic, but my eyes become so itchy they can swell closed. My nose runs like a leaky tap, and very rarely I can struggle to breathe. And the flower I seem to be most allergic to are roses, as the breathing issue tends to happen when I'm exposed to them. Stacy does know about my allergies and has seen me a few reactions over the years. I declined the invitation, and naturally, as 21st are usually an important celebration, she texted me asking why I couldn't come. When I told her, she became quite upset with me and said that my excuse wasn't good enough and that there must be a better reason. And when I said it was my real reason, she became even more upset. She kept insisting that I come anyways, citing that I have medication to help me, but she must have forgotten it was a nasal spray, as when I reminded her, she said that it was disgusting. And she didn't want to see that on her birthday, even though I offered to run to the toilets when I needed to use it. I tried to compromise with her and said that I'd be happy to wear a mask, as it may help lessen the severity, but she shot the idea down as it was a picnic, so I'd take it off to eat, and she didn't want a mask to be in the photos. I also said that I'd be happy to take her out for breakfast earlier in the day so we could still hang out for her birthday, but she declined as she wanted all of her friends to celebrate together. I don't want to miss her birthday, but I don't want to ruin it by being a sniffly mess and possibly having a severe reaction. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your friend is being a drama queen. You offered her a whole range of different options to allow you to participate, but none of them are good enough. Does she want you there or not? Or does she just want drama? If Opie did go, then the friend would complain about how she ruined photos with her runny nose and swollen eyes. Seems like a lose-lose situation to me. Not the a-hole. It's going to ruin the pictures anyway, if Opie has a red, snotty nose and swollen shut, watery red eyes. It's still the tail end of the pandemic where I live, and I would not want to be near a maskless, sneezing, coughing, it's just allergies person right now. She is not your friend. Opie, she clearly doesn't care about you or your well-being. She just cares about having the perfect photos. Don't waste your time trying to cater to someone so selfish. Not the a-hole, but you'd be the a-hole to yourself if you give in to her ridiculous demands. This. Who the hell tells someone their reason for not attending a birthday is not good enough? Let alone that reason is because the event is being held somewhere that affects your health? An allergy she is well aware of prior to picking it. She's not your friend. She had given zero consideration to your well-being. You were just there to fill in a spot in her photo op for best birthday ever. It was a nasal spray, and when I reminded her, she said that it was disgusting and she didn't want to see that. What the heck is disgusting about a nasal spray? It's not going around, I hope. Not the a-hole. You might even take all the focus from her on her birthday. If you were really petty, you should suffer the symptoms and go. Not the a-hole. It's a medicine that is a mist that you squirt into your nose. Probably something like Flonase. Stuff works like a charm for my wife, but it is kinda gross to watch, and her nose runs like a leaky faucet for a good 30 minutes after she uses it. Next story. Would I be the a-hole if I attend a wedding and my pregnancy is announced because I will not be drinking? My boyfriend, 34 male, and I, 31 female, have been dating for 12 years and just decided to start trying for a baby. We have not announced that we were trying for a baby because it will result in our families lecturing us about getting married and having a wedding. We do not want a wedding. And marriage isn't important to us. We have a family wedding to attend this weekend. Therefore, I took a pregnancy test just to double check before a weekend of heavy drinking. Well, it was positive, and we are so excited. I do not want to announce that I am pregnant until we go to the doctor or after 12 weeks. This happened so quickly, I am not sure what to do. The bride has been dreaming about her wedding day her whole life, and all the attention should be on her. I do not want to take her spotlight. This will be the first grandchild in the family, and I assume that everyone will be so excited. The problem is that I drink alcohol and get drunk at every family event. My family loves to party and we take shots together, shotgun beer together, and randomly challenge each other to chugging contests. I am fully involved in the festivities and instigate a lot of drinking. Basically, it will be very noticeable that I am not drinking and refusing shots. I am planning on pretending to drink beers by replacing it with water, but I don't think this will actually fool my family. We are staying at the hotel where the reception is taking place, therefore I cannot just say I am the designated driver. My family will notice that I am not drinking this weekend and correctly conclude that I am pregnant. I cannot imagine missing my cousin's wedding, but also could never imagine stealing the bride's spotlight with my pregnancy. I know the bride will be angry if there are rumors about my pregnancy during her wedding. My cousin will be annoyed that I made his new wife angry, but is reasonable and would not actually be mad at me. Would I be the a-hole if my pregnancy gets announced or rumored at my cousin's wedding, or should I just stay home sick? My boyfriend suggested that we should call everyone and announce that we are pregnant today. Therefore, it does not happen during her wedding. I don't think making the announcement a few days before her wedding will actually help. In addition, I am uncomfortable with this because I've only taken at-home pregnancy tests and have not been to a doctor. I do not know how far along I am. Plus, I am more terrified of the possibility of having to announce a miscarriage to the whole family. I hope I don't have a miscarriage, but it's a possibility with any pregnancy, and the chance drops significantly after 12 weeks according to the internet. You would be the a-hole. Just say you're taking a course of antibiotics and can't drink if anyone asks. This. If they get pushy, Flagyl specifically has a severe reaction with alcohol. I was told violent vomiting. That sounds like the perfect plan to me. Opie can just say, "Oh, I had this terrible stomach bug last week, and I'm no longer contagious but have to finish my course of meds and absolutely cannot drink alcohol while taking that." Agreed. I legitimately didn't drink on one of my birthdays at a bar because I had to take antibiotics. No one suspected a different reason. I went to a wedding and a bridal shower as soon as I discovered I was pregnant. For the bridal shower, I got a glass of mimosa and still cheered with my friends and pretended to drink and nobody realized anything. Then after we announced, they were like, "Wait, but you were drinking at a bridal shower." No, I wasn't. For the wedding, I ordered Sprite with cranberry and ice. It looks exactly like vodka cranberry. Someone asked me what it was, and I said vodka cranberry, and they were excited to go get a glass for them too. When someone put a drink on my hand, I would accept it, either pretend to drink or give it to my husband. Nobody noticed anything. I still partied like crazy and everybody thought I was tipsy. When I went to the dessert table and said ice cream so excitedly that my friend laughed because he thought I was super drunk. I was just pregnant and really into ice cream. Haha. My biggest tip is, don't walk around holding a bottle of water. That's what gives it away. And it's actually really fun to pretend. My husband and I had a blast knowing nobody else knew our little secret. You're on antibiotics. You have a bet going. You've started a clean eating diet. You're prepping for a blood test. And if anyone asks if you're pregnant, just say no. You would be the a-hole. A simple Google search gives you a few ideas. Don't make your cousin's wedding about you. Don't announce it beforehand. It's tacky. Exactly. When I found out I was pregnant, my husband and I said we were doing a sober January. It's not that hard. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for saying my daughter won't go on these outings if she's forced to just entertain some kid? So yesterday, my wife took my daughter 7 female swimming. Wife's friend and her daughter Helen were going with them, and I guess she brought her nephew Johnny along too. My daughter loves to swim, and they were going to her favorite beach, so she was excited for days prior. She's met my wife's friend and daughter before, and is kinda indifferent to them, but she knew it involved swimming, so she was looking forward to it. When they got back, I asked if they had fun. My daughter said no. I asked why, and she said that she barely got to swim because Helen didn't want to, so she had to play on the playground with her instead. Later, I asked my wife what happened, and she said that daughter was playing more with Johnny than Helen, and Helen wanted to play on the playground instead of swim. She said it wouldn't be nice for Helen to play by herself while daughter played with Johnny and left her out. I said, "That's stupid. You went there to swim, not play on the playground. You can go to any park and play on a playground." She said, "Yeah, but Helen didn't want to swim. It was mean for daughter to be swimming with Johnny while Helen was all alone." I said, "So it was more important for Helen to have fun than our daughter?" She said, "No, but it was one swimming trip. She'll get over it. It's better for her to form a friendship with Helen than Johnny anyway. She'll see Helen more and might not ever see Johnny again." I said, "That's not the point. She's not there just to entertain some other kid. She deserves to have fun too. Or maybe she won't go next time if she's just going to be forced to do what Helen wants." Wife said I was being dramatic and sound like an A for basically saying, "Too bad, so sad, play by yourself" to a little kid that was all alone. Says that daughter needs to learn to compromise sometimes for other people. I'm seriously considering taking off next time there's a play date like this. If my daughter is just going to be forced to be Helen's entertainment, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Sounds like Helen only has fun when she gets her way. That's how it'll be every time your daughter goes to play with Helen. By allowing this, Your daughter will not want to have play dates with Helen at all, which will create problems for your wife and her friend. It may not be a big deal now, but it could be if your wife doesn't understand what this could do to your daughter. If the daughter doesn't get to swim, as she was promised, then this was a false promise. Daughter will start to mistrust her mother. To be fair, there's nothing in this story that suggests Helen was the bad guy or that she only has fun when she gets her way. She just didn't want to swim. Opie's wife is the problem for forcing her daughter to play with her. Yeah, it's also possible that Helen was told it was a beach trip rather than a swimming trip. The adults should have done an okay, we'll do Helen's thing for half the time, and then we'll do daughter and Johnny's preference for half the time. And next time, we will communicate better about what we're planning to do during the trip. Not stay home. Your daughter deserves to have fun. That is not a compromise. Your wife told your daughter to be a doormat. This right here, OP. Your wife is teaching your daughter that other people's comfort is more important than her own. Compromise would be including both activities. Not the a-hole. Your wife is, though. Her idea of compromise is more like making your daughter a doormat so Helen didn't play alone. A good compromise would have been to play on the playground some, then go swimming.